usually I don't do introductions. I'm not going to do an introduction now, but this fucking guy, his name is Alexander Barnes, aka Barney. He is, some might say, I've heard through the grapevine, Texas, I've heard you might be the goat of this shit. Right?
Yeah, right.
That's what some might say. That's what some might say.
Yeah, right.
So I think what I really want to know is, first of all, who is the goat of this shit? If it's not you.
Not me.
I don't know, man. Every time I pull up Instagram, it's you with the fucking plaque or some sort of diploma in your hand. So
Oh
like I don't have some paper in
man.
your hand going like so like I don't know.
Yo, it's definitely not me. Look, you can ask me and Siler and Heartless had this conversation like last week or something.
Oh my god.
He was telling me, he was like, yeah, bro, you're not if we had to get like the top 20, dancers, in Dallas active. He was telling me I wasn't in there. I was like,
He had to be bullshitting you, right?
he was so we went down the list and I might have been like 20.
Insane. That's insane because I would put you in top
I was
10.
like,
That's insane because I would put you in top 10.
I was like, wow. I mean, he did name some like I wasn't disagreeing with him like
But like active though. Because
yeah,
like
like what else?
a lot of the times like the used to be goats, they're not active anymore.
Yeah.
They're
But
family
he would
people
because
now.
he was naming because you can't forget about like the Crumpers and the Breakers.
Fair.
Because like they may not come
Yeah.
around like they may not be around like the open style scene or the open style battles or whatever, but they still
Mm-hmm.
doing their thing. So he was naming those people, and I was like, it was mainly me wanting to be like, who do you think is above me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm cool with that. I'm not I'm not the best.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna think I'm the best, but you know, I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah.
I think I'm all
I do
right.
think at this point in time,
Right.
I might be a good
I
dancer.
might be okay at least.
Subject to popular opinion, I might be a good dancer.
Right.
Um, why animation though? Is why was animation the thing that you base that it looks like you kind of took to be like what your specialty is going to be in a way?
Yeah. It was so funny. My whole like actual dance journey because I was dancing before animation. I was kind of dancing with all like the little party dances and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like where I really like started, I guess. I was hitting the Dougie,
Yep.
doing the little Soldier Boy dance. I
Seventh
was
grade
doing
school
all
dance,
that.
eighth grade school dance,
Right, yeah,
prom
yeah, yeah. But
night.
then like it was so funny because like I was watching Step Up 3
Yep.
and Mad Chad was on there and he
Yep.
came through, he had the glasses on, he came through the crowd. And it
Yep.
was so funny. It wasn't even like it was like most people, it's like, oh my God, like that's crazy. And for me, it was like, he ain't even doing nothing, bro. Like,
Mm,
why is he getting paid to
interesting.
do all this easy stuff? He was over there. I
Yeah.
was like, bro, he just moving his shoulders. And I promise you, I watched the scene, I rolled it back and I saw what he did. I went to the bathroom and I was in the mirror talking about,
No, because why was I doing the exact same thing when Step Up 3 came out?
bro, I was
Why,
like,
why was that and then this the exact
yeah,
thing that I was doing in the bathroom mirror when
bro,
he saw that for the first time?
yeah. And
That's
then I remember I
insane.
watched and I was doing it. I was like, dang, it's kind of hard. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a
He
minute. Wait
made
a
this
minute.
look nice.
That's an illusion. Wait a
Right.
minute.
And then I looked at the credits and I saw his name and I looked him up and I was like, dang, this is crazy. And then I
Mm-hmm.
just like kept watching stuff. And I found out like it's I don't know, it's a really cool style because it's like it feels so open, like
Mm-hmm.
even now it's still like evolving and so many people have different opinions about it, but it's like
Yeah.
it's really open and it's like like animation can look as different as it can be from person to
Mm-hmm.
person, but you know it when you see it
Mm-hmm.
is the thing. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting you say it's a very free and open style. Open styles. Um, given how restrictive it looks, right? It
Yeah.
specifically looks restrictive because it looks segmented and
Yeah.
looks tight. But within that, structure, there's a lot of freedom to move however you want. And
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff, like usually my pitfall is locking into the same movements over and over again.
Hmm.
But and that used to be my thing in the past of like, oh, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Like, can you freak with it a little bit? Can you mess it with it a little bit?
Yeah.
Can you lab with it? But the same way I had somebody like introduced this new idea to me where like, and it's a completely not unrelated topic, but I listen to obviously a lot of podcasters and everything, and so one of them is really big on uh, making things into quotes or making things into like bite-sized phrases. And he was like, and instead of like just saying the concept as it is, and he said the whole reason we do that is so we can remember it, because
Hmm.
the phrase is like the doorway into the actual concept.
Hmm.
And so I started to think about like, yeah, if you start your round off and yeah, you might do the exact same little like thing that you always do, but that's like your little key in your ignition to like get you warmed up and started,
Yeah.
and then you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
And so do you have like certain, I guess, movements or things that you think, oh, this is kind of like my key to my engine or whatever?
It like that's really interesting because like I actually had a conversation with somebody the other day, like because we were talking about battles
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to like get better at battles and stuff. Um,
Was it Canvas?
and I told them I was like, yo, like, because they were asking me like, how do I approach
Mm-hmm.
battles? And I've always been like a person that's like, I'm not necessarily going in with anything like pre-made or
Mm-hmm.
pre-labbed or whatever. I'm always like trying to keep it um as real as
Mm-hmm.
possible, I guess. Like trying to just go off the dome and like really just let the music go, like carry me. But
Mm-hmm.
I told them I was like, whenever I start a battle, I always like any round, I always have an idea of how I'm going to start,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there, who knows what's going to happen. But it's like I always try to have some sort of idea of like, oh, I want to do this character, or I want
Mm-hmm.
to start hitting this, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm going to start in robot,
Mm.
and then from there let it just build off of that. But I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily being like this whole round I'm going to do robot the entire time. It's like let me
Right.
just start here so I have this idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there I can start to
Mm-hmm.
build it however I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
Okay.
like it's not necessarily like I have like a certain thing. It's like, okay, I start this way and da 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 da, but it's like
Yeah.
and that gets me into it. But I do have like certain little ideas that like I guess they maybe are the sort of pre-lab because I've just practiced it a bunch and it's more like
Mm-hmm.
foundational, but it's like I've practiced it a bunch. So it's like, okay, I can start this way and then build it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Build something off of that instead of like
Mm-hmm.
going in with nothing.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I think that definitely helps me a lot. So hopefully, I I want to talk about that more with young people coming to the scene. Like if they're trying
Yeah.
to battle or they're trying to session, whatever, and they're like, I can't think of anything, and I'm like, just go back to something you know, and then take it from there. Like
Yeah,
you don't have to
I'll tell
start
people
the
I'm like, yo, you can
round.
just go in with a two step,
Yeah.
and then
Well, that's exactly like back in the day with when I used to like talk to Middleton and other people when I was battling a little bit more, and they would, or when I was taking popping classes and everything, and people would like do a little like a Fresno or something like that, and you would see that happen a lot, and they're always like, this is what you always do is start with the foundations, and like, or you start your round, you show the judges in a prelim round like, I know my foundations of this style,
yeah,
and then you open it up, and I was like, that doesn't make sense because you look like you're doing really basic things, and then you waste time
hmm,
for like latter part of the round when you're supposed to be like showcasing your skills and why you should get past prelims.
hmm,
But it makes sense
yeah,
now when I think of it differently. So that's cool. I like that. So then what are you working on right now then? Like is there like a either like a style or movement or some sort of like technique or something you're working on now,
yeah.
labbing?
I'm trying to stay alive. No, I'm playing. No, I'm
My
trying
work
like
is living.
I've been like I'm stepping into like a lot more teaching now, and
Right.
it's a lot of stuff that is, to be honest, like out of my comfort zone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm about to start stepping into, like I'm about to be the hip hop director for like three different studios that are connected with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I got it. But in my mind, I'm like, I
Yeah.
I got to figure this out because like I've
Mm-hmm.
never really like I've been like an assistant director for teams or like been
Mm-hmm.
co-directing with people, but nothing's ever really been like my own thing, especially
Yeah.
on the scale of like not let alone a team, but like the whole hip hop program for studios.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm trying to like
Yeah.
I'm stepping into that and even like getting booked for more like teaching opportunities for like intensives and master classes and stuff and then like
Mm-hmm.
trying to I guess it's really like what I'm working on is getting my business straight
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that I've always struggled with is
Mm-hmm.
the business side of dance. And business meaning
Mm-hmm.
like not being like professional or anything, but literally like how much like if somebody asks me like how much do you charge? I'm gonna be like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Like I because like I truly don't know, you know, and I have
Mm-hmm.
people I can ask and everything, but it's like I have no basis of what I need to charge or how much I should get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's I guess that's what I've been kind of working on
Interesting.
is figuring that aspect out of this like job and career of dance.
Yeah. I mean, I find it interesting you say that because I feel like you've been teaching for a while now, but I guess this role is just so much more than
Yeah.
the studio teach a class
Yeah.
type like things that you've been doing.
Yeah, because like
First of all, congrats.
usually it's
Good
just
stuff.
like go in, teach, leave, and then like
Yep.
do that every week, you know.
Yep.
And as a teacher, I always tell people I want to make my biggest goal as a teacher is to create good relationships with the students as
Mm-hmm.
well as help them grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the relationship aspect between a student and a teacher is really important
Mm-hmm.
to the development of growth.
Right.
It's like if I don't like my teacher, I'm probably not going to grow as well. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
want to create good relationships with all of my students, no matter like what age they are or like the level that they're at, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'll teach from like 8, 9, 10 year olds all the way to like adults. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to create good
Yeah.
relationships with all of them so that I can help them grow in the way that they want to. And it
Mm-hmm.
can be in a more streamlined manner versus it
Yeah.
being like I'm the teacher, you're the student, you have to listen to me. It's more like we're actually able to have a conversation about dance and other things so that like we can figure out where you need to go and where you want to
Mm-hmm.
go.
So do you find yourself succeeding at that more often than not, or is it still
Yeah,
kind of a
I
work in
like
progress?
it's been really cool. It's been really cool to like to create these relationships with people.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I just like I think this past weekend I just went to one of my students' graduation parties, and then like 2 weeks ago I went to another student's graduation party. And when they asked me, they're like, "Hey, would you come to my graduation party?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like
Yeah.
of course I'd come to you." Like I
Right.
feel so honored that you want to invite me. You know what I'm saying? Like that we
Mm-hmm.
have that sort of relationship where it's not just like I see you once a week and then it's out,
Yeah.
but then it's like you like because I've been like a part of their life for a few years. So it's like that's so cool. I feel like that's so cool. And then even like
Mm-hmm.
teaching at teaching at HQ where I teach like adults,
Yeah.
we'll go like everybody will be in class and then we'll take class like they'll take my class and then I'll take the next class, we'll take it together, and then afterwards we'll like go out to eat or something. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're chilling. You know, and then we're talking about dance, we're talking about life, we're talking about like personal stuff. And then it's like
Yeah.
now we're just creating that relationship and that bond. So next time when I see them in
Mm-hmm.
class, it's not like this wall
Right.
between like this is where the teacher stands and this is where the student stands. It's
Right.
not like there's still like teacher student, but it's
Right.
we're almost in a sense like peers at this point because it's like I'm helping you grow. We
Yeah.
have a relationship. We're cool. So anytime
Yeah.
I say anything to you, it's not coming at you. You know, it's not like if I'm like getting on to you, it's not like personal or anything. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to get. I mean, in a sense, it is
Yeah.
personal in the sense of like I want you to get better, but not because like whatever,
Mm-hmm.
It's like I actually care
Yeah,
about your growth and your well-being.
that's fair. That's fair. Interesting. Okay, I don't know. I like that. I like that. I think that sounds exhausting. Just listening to that.
Yeah.
Are you more of like a social butterfly, or are you more like in gets energy drained from social
Dude,
interactions?
it depends. It really it depends.
Yeah.
I always say what
Are
is
you
it?
an
I'm an
Evo?
extroverted introvert.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like if I'm around the right people, I'm good all day. If it's like the
Yeah.
right group of people, I'm good. It doesn't matter how long I'm out with them or talking to them, it's fine. But then it's like if sometimes if it's like, and I talked to this about my girlfriend Courtney a bunch, like if it's people I don't know, I'm quiet, dude, because I'm like, 'cause
Got that like serious just
dude, because I'm not gonna lie, I suck at having conversations with people if I don't know
mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I'm under the notion that I'm probably never gonna see
To
you
talk to you again.
again. It's bad. I know it's bad. If I'm like, because like there will be so many
Uh,
times I'm like, I'll be introduced to somebody. I'm like, yo, what's up? And they're like, oh, my name is whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I'm like, I didn't even hear your
names are
name, dude.
difficult.
I did not even
Na-
hear your name because I'm not gonna have to know it because after this interaction, we will never see each other again. And then
on
and then I see them next week and I'm like,
Oh no, you came back.
dang
Fuck.
it.
Well, that's why I love being a dude, respectfully, to women out there. I love being a dude because I can just say bro
Right.
and you never have to remember anybody's name in your life. You never have to remember
Yo,
any name ever.
real. So I'm like,
It's
hey,
so
hey man,
real.
hey yo, yeah, yo. And then that's
Hey man,
it.
it's so easy. It's so easy. And they're like, yeah, so do you remember my the people who ask, do you remember my name, they need to be like when they say take bikini bottom and push it somewhere else, they need to be pushed somewhere
They
else.
need to be pushed somewhere. I'm actually the worst at names. Like, especially like with my students, because I teach at like 5 different studios
Oh
and I
man.
teach a lot of different people. So like, and I only get to see them like once a week. So
Mm-hmm.
then it takes so long for me to learn like kids' names. And there'll be
A lot of kids
studios.
look the same.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I'm gonna say it.
And then like,
So
and it sucks because like sometimes like I feel bad because I'll remember the kids that be talking more, like that be talking to me more, I'll remember their names because
mm-hmm.
we're having this interaction in this like however long class we're having. But then there's like the
Mm-hmm.
kids that are really quiet, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea like I know who you are, but
Yep.
like I have no idea what your name is.
Yep. Do
But
they
I'm
ever
like,
like
it'll
have
be
to
so
like
bad.
sign it on a piece of paper or anything?
No, like like some classes I do have like a roll sheet, and then like I'm
Yeah.
taking roll, and I'm like, so and so, okay, so and so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so and so. And then I'm like, dang, who was that? Oh no.
Yeah.
But then like it'll be bad because some kids will be like, do you know our names? And I'm like, no,
No. No, I
not
don't
at
care. I mean,
all.
I care, but I don't
I'm
care.
like, not at all. I know you. I just don't know what your name is. And
I don't
that's
know
I
what you're
feel like that's
called.
more important.
Yep. I know who you are as a person on the
Right.
inside, but on the outside, I don't give a fuck what you're
Right.
called.
I'm like,
I'm gonna
ugh,
call you
dude,
bro or
if
man
I saw you
or
on the
fam.
street, I would be like, hey,
Hey. And then just that's right
that'd be it. That'd be it, dude.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. So speaking of like working with a lot of people, recently, a couple months ago, you had taken part in a short film
Mm.
with our good friend MJG.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about how that went.
Oh,
Cause that's like completely different. How was
dude,
that experience?
dude, it was so fun because it was it was me, MJG, and then a guy named Jody.
Mm-hmm.
He was great because he was like an actual like actor, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shoot, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here like I'm just like I've acted before, but it was like when I was like I was in
Yeah.
theater when I was like in high school, and
Yeah.
I was just kind of doing it for the credit. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair.
I mean, it
Fair.
was still a fun time, but
Fair. Of course.
it
I
was a
mean,
fun time. And I acted
credit's
like
gotta get
before in
got.
like little church plays or whatever. But like
Yep.
again, I was like a kid. But it was really cool because like I got to be like this android character.
Mm-hmm.
And that itself was really tight because it gave me a chance to like develop the character and like
Mm.
instead of it just being like, okay, I'm just gonna come in and be like this. Like I know MJG had a very specific vision
Yeah.
for the character, and then with me doing like animation, I was like, okay, I can mold that vision into like what I'm thinking, and it allowed
Mm-hmm.
me. He gave me like different ideas to pull from. I had my own ideas to
Mm-hmm.
pull from, and then it kind of like was I was able to develop like just like even the movements of the
Yeah.
character, like a even like a simple walk, like having
Mm-hmm.
to develop how that walk happened every single time. Um, even like little head movements, even like the speech pattern
Yeah.
was it was a really cool experience to like be able to develop a character, but have that comfort zone still be there since it's within like my style.
Right.
So it was really cool. And then I think the hardest part was like learning the lines. Like that
Mm.
was and I've learned lines and stuff, but it was like it was hard because it was because of the fact that I had to develop it with the character
Yeah.
and how this android would say this, the inflection of how they would speak, um, and like trying to keep that and maintain that like consistency the whole time
Mm-hmm.
it was a good challenge. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool experience that I'm like forever grateful for MJG for. Like
Yeah.
that was like the coolest thing. And like
So you can put
that
on your resume now
yeah,
that
in
I'm
a
actually an
movie.
actor. Actor.
Right.
And then like I said, this guy's the fucking goat of this shit. You were in a song
Oh, yeah,
produced by one of
dude.
our best friends ever. This guy.
Yo. Oh man, dude.
I kid you not, that is still such a one of the most catchiest songs of 2025 that has come out.
Oh man, dude.
But every time I listen to that song, I'm like, I can hear it because I've been told, oh, this is Barney. So like now I know it's Barney. But before I knew it was you, I was like, that's kind of I thought it was just a sample someone ripped from the internet.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that was fun too because I remember Andy hit me up. He was like, "Yo, can you do the oh brother, this guy stinks impression?" I was like, and like
Yeah.
I got that text and I looked at Courtney and I was like, "Can I?" And then I tried it. She was like, "Yeah." And then I had a lot of I can do that. He was like, "Cool, can you come over so I can record you for a song?" And I was like, "Sure, man." And then I get over there and he was like, "Yeah, I just need you to do this." And he was like, "We'll try it a few times, and then just in case for like copyright reasons, um, we'll like change up some of the words."
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't. So it ended up like it was, "Oh brother, this guy stinks," and then we
Right.
changed it. We had like a few different iterations, which was really funny. But I think we
Mm-hmm.
landed on, "Oh mother, this guy reeks."
That's so funny.
So just in case the copyright
Right.
situation hit, and it was so funny just like doing that over and
Mm-hmm.
over again. Cause like he just had, I had the headphones. I don't even know if I had the headphones. He just had the mic, and I would just like yell it into the
Yep.
microphone. And then we were trying to figure it out because he was editing. He was like, "Yeah, man, it just sounds like da 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 da." And I was like, what if you put the microphone there and I just stand back here in the corner and I just
Mm-hmm.
actually like scream it?"
Yeah.
Because we kept like comparing it to the actual like sound
Mm.
bite, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it sounds far." And I was like, "What if I just stand in the corner?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "I'll just shout it." And then we
Yeah.
did that. And he was like, "Perfect." He was like, "Yep, that was it. That was it. You're good. Go
That's
home."
awesome.
So yeah, that was hilarious. And the
That's
song dropped, and I was, bro, I was listening. I was like, oh, I kept listening. I was like, "That's me."
that's me. That's me.
That's me.
Send it to your mom. Mom, that's me.
But dude, yeah,
That is
that was a funny experience because it was just literally, "Oh brother, this guy stinks."
stinks. It's so iconic too, because like I don't hear oh mother this guy reeks. I just I like because now because you already know what it's supposed to sound like. I think sometimes I just replace
Yeah,
what you actually say with what it sounds like, and it just works.
yeah, dude, that was that was
And
such
the song is fucking cat. It's catchy as
dude.
fuck. I had Ayushi listen to it, and she's like, "Wait, this is actually good." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." So this is Andy's top 5
Top for
books.
sure, dude. For sure.
That was so now that we've gotten your odd jobs out of the way. Um, going back to dance a little bit, I
Mhm.
have I have a couple things I want to ask, and these might be a little bit scattered, but I think your insight would be interesting on this. Is there a battle or an exchange that you've had in the past that is like one of your most memorable ones that you maybe like think back to when you have time to think?
Yeah, there are a few that like come to mind immediately. Um and it's so weird because it's not, it wasn't even like, whenever I think of these, it wasn't like, I mean, sometimes it is, but like it's usually not like, oh, the quality of the round was like, this is the best I've ever done, but it's
Yeah,
more like, this is the best I've ever felt in a round.
yeah,
And I feel
yeah.
like I always tell people like that is what I'm shooting for, is
Mm-hmm.
to feel like I've produced a really amazing round,
Mm-hmm.
instead of going in and being like, oh, I want to win, or I want to beat this guy, or I'm trying to get this money. Like, I'm just trying to
Mm-hmm.
give a good round. Who, like, if I lose and I gave the best round of my life, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather lose and give the best round I've ever had than win and then feel like, man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, yeah, there's a few rounds. There's one round. It was a battlegrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went. I think I don't even know where. I don't remember where it was at. Which one? Maybe it was Dot. No, it wasn't Dada. Maybe it was Brain Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It was inside though. But it was I think it was against. I went against Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Who Wants Smoke. It was a Who Wants Smoke round. And
Yeah.
I just remember I was like, I remember I like had just listened to that song like either that day or the day before, and I was like, oh, I'm about to go in, and it just
Mm-hmm.
felt really nice. And it was hilarious because there was one moment in that round where like I was trying to hit like some wordplay or whatever, but like I
Mm-hmm.
had messed up the verse in my head,
Yeah.
and like another part came on, but I ended up like it ended up working perfectly.
Yeah.
I was like, and like I was caught in that moment. I was like, oh, it was like a little repeat moment. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, oh, this was nice. This felt
Mm-hmm.
so good. This was
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
I remember that round really vividly. And then another round, I don't know why this round like pops into my head. I have it posted on my Instagram. It was a battle round that I did in actually two rounds. It was two rounds from from two different battles in Canada. One was last year, and one was it was a prelim round, I think. Yeah, it was my prelim popping round, and it was like this. The quality of this round looked really well, but I just
Mm-hmm.
remember the mindset that I was in,
Mm-hmm.
of it being just like, I'm about to like go crazy, like I'm about to go crazy, but like in the
Right.
most like chill way possible, because I think it
Right.
was the way they had prelims, it was like a head to head,
Mm-hmm.
but just like in a battle sense, but like we weren't really battling. But I
Mm-hmm.
just remember, and I had to go first, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to like I'm about to go in, like I'm about to go in right now. But I was
Yeah.
like, it was very chill, like what I was
Mm.
doing, and but it felt so good.
Yeah.
And then there was another round in Canada. I think it was 2 years ago. It was like a top 16 round, and I remember being in the mindset of like, dude, I'm in battle mode. So like your
Mm-hmm.
round, trash, bro. Your round was terrible. It was he had a
Right.
the round was great.
The
So
round,
in my
great,
mind, I was like,
objectively great round.
you suck.
Right.
And I remember like looking at the footage, I'm like, dude, I look mean. Like I look like I'm so mean right now. And I just remember,
You send an apology to that
it was
person
so funny.
immediately. Like, I'm so sorry.
I started the round looking disappointed in
Yeah.
the guy.
Oh my God. Oh, before the round is even. Oh
Dude,
no.
I started the round looking disappointed in him. It was so
Yeah.
funny. Um, Again, the round was great. Me and him were homies. The round was great, but like I just remember being in that mode, and then like people were telling because I think I was staying with some people because like my teacher AJ Mega Man, he was like he had all of his I'm one of his students, so he had
Mm-hmm.
all of his students like kind of scattered in different places. So I was
Mm-hmm.
staying with this family, and the family was like, "Oh, he's staying with us? That mean guy?"
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh,
"Oh
that's so
no."
funny. No, I'm
I was
not
like,
me. I'm actually a really
no
nice guy, I
way. I'm
promise.
not really mean. I'm not actually mean. It was just a tactic. Oh no.
These
It
are
was
just bad. These are just antagonistic tactics. They teach you this
right.
in Battle School 101.
Literally, yeah. But yeah, those rounds come to mind for sure. Just because of like I love the way that I love the way that I felt, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that you can like see that feeling within the round,
Mm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I need you to tell me what's a dance take that would get you canceled? You're like the one of the only three people in the scene that I can ask this.
Let me see. Let me think, bro, because I don't know about anything that'll get me canceled. I don't think I have any of those.
Okay, so he's too
Um,
nice.
nah, I mean, it's not gonna get me canceled. I mean, people probably agree with it. Being a oh man. Actually, no, I got one. I do have one. It's not gonna get me
Oh.
canceled, but it's I felt like this a lot. And this is specifically about animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to dance. Like it's
Mm.
okay to do animation and dance. Because I feel like so many people who do animation either can't dance or refuse to dance. It's so
Interesting.
weird to see.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch a lot of like animation battles
Yeah.
and I'm like, and love no disrespect to anybody because like they'll pull out like these crazy characters and I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
this looks crazy and this looks amazing. But then I'm like, there's some people who are just like refusing to dance. And even people who
Mm-hmm.
do animation and like do it to different songs outside of an animation battle,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like,
Mm.
what are
That's
we
fair.
like? What are we do? Like, we can. It's okay to like. This is you. This is there's a place for this in animation, you know.
Mm.
Like, but it's so funny because everybody thinks it's like
Right.
everybody thinks you have to be here when you do animation, and I'm like,
Right.
you can groove, you can
Right.
dance with
Yeah.
animation. Like, it's a dance style still.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like so many people are refusing to dance. Like I know there's this might be, this might be, like there's some people that I
Say it.
know, there are some people that I know that have like put together like this, what is animation dance? And it's not like it's like a law. It's more like an opinion of like what they've learned and what they have, like what their opinion is and what they perceive. But I know a lot of people agree
Mm-hmm.
with it. And it's like, what is animation dance? And it lists like all the foundations and the schools of thought and
Right.
whatever. And I'm like, this is too much. This
Mm.
like if I were to see, because it's like a whole like PowerPoint slide presentation sort of
Oh my gosh.
situation and like a Google Doc or whatever. And I remember I saw it and I read it and I'm like, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
it's like way over complicated.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm forever grateful that I learned from AJ Mega Man because
Mm-hmm.
the way that he explains animation, again, it's not like it's law, right? Like whatever he
Right.
says is what animation is, but like he's done the research, he's learned from the OGs, he, he has done his hours, he has done the time, he's done the research. He's proven himself. But he makes it when he teaches it, he makes it really simple,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like simple in the sense of like this is what animation is, this is what
Mm-hmm.
this is, this is what this is. Now, if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to dive in deep, on this
Yeah.
one specific thing, we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
But for just saying it purposes, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Instead, these other people are like, it's all of this, and you have this school of thought, and in this school of thought, you can think this, and there's these foundations with this school of thought, but then with this school of thought, there's this definition, and then I'm like,
That's you know what? I'm checked out already.
I'm just like,
You said you told me 2 seconds of it. I said I'm
I
checked
was,
out.
and I'm like,
I'm not reading. I'm
and
not
like
reading all
reading
that.
through it, I'm like, this isn't wrong, but I'm like, this is, if I were a beginner reading this, I don't think I'd want to do it.
Oh hell, it's like okay. I'm bringing an anime, but it's like Naruto, and you learn one spell, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn the most foundational, like you just learn how to like move the wind in the rubber ball before you get the Rasengan.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no complications.
Yeah.
It's only until you're like intermediate slash upper intermediate master that you're like, okay, now pop the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Okay, now do your shadow clone jutsu and cheat so you can like get the fucking Rasengan.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like I would never show that to a beginner. Like they don't, you would remove so many more people from the style by telling them adhere to this regulation.
Yeah.
As opposed to come dance with us.
Right.
And just that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really strange. And like, and again, no disrespect to those guys, because like the as dancers and everything, they're great, but it's just like it's just like almost like trying to it feels like trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Trying to like redefine what's already been defined and done. And I get it, because it's like, so you ask somebody what is animation, you'll get 1,000 different answers from 1,000 different people.
What is animation, Barney?
Nah. Dude, yeah. That I always tell people like that is it's such a loaded question, because it's like there's not, like I said, there's not one definition.
Yeah.
Like you ask what popping is. Popping is
Right.
like the contraction of the muscle, the contraction and the relaxation
Yeah,
of
there's
the
the
muscle.
technical answer.
You know what I'm
And then
saying?
there's the there's the the conceptual answer.
Right.
There's always two answers.
Yeah. Because it's like, what is hip hop? It's like, oh, hip hop is, bouncing and rocking and skating and all these foundations. You do that. That's hip hop,
Yeah.
But it's like with animation, it's like, oh, you can be a robot, and that's animation. Well, wait.
Well, actually,
Because there are people who think robot and animation are also like not the same, and they're two separate
interesting.
styles. And then it's like,
Would you not just put robot under animation, like fucking like the Fresno's under popping?
yeah, so it's like, because like what I've learned and what I think is that robot is a character within animation.
Right.
So it's like you can do robot, but like
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing robot, you're doing animation. But then it's like if you're doing animation, you don't have to be doing robot. It's one of
Right.
those type situations.
Right.
So, but there are people who think they are separate, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like no. I get, because there's like people have talked about like there's animation battle and there's robot battles, and I'm like,
Right.
that's fair, because you can do animation battles.
Yeah.
You can do robot in an animation battle.
Right.
In a robot battle, you have to do robot or what any of the robots that there are, but you can't do
Yeah.
anything outside of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those questions that it's like whatever you've learned, whatever you perceive is kind of what it is, and it's correct like in its own way. Because what I learned is animation is creating characters with foundations, and those foundations are speed control, dime stops, ticking, strobing, vibrating, and glitching.
Yeah.
So those 6 foundations, you create characters, and that's what animation is as a style. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I do enjoy about watching your animation versus so many others that have come and gone through the scene, is because you, to your point, you dance within your animation. Like
Mm.
I've seen you wave, I've seen you pop, I've seen you like do some like footwork, whatever it is, right? Like
Yeah.
still within like weaving in and out of the animation. It's not just like, oh, Barney is literally for the next 3 minutes has just been ticking,
Right.
or he's just been like dime stopping, or he's just been doing the one robot thing. Unless you're like trying to lab and create
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
but like you've always danced with it, which is it's so fucking annoying how good you are at everything. Respectfully, it's annoying how well you pick up certain things. It is annoying how good you are at it. Coming from a friend
Yeah.
who isn't competing with you. Um, I've talked, I think, to Cameron, maybe Cameron or Andy about this, of like, it's annoying how Barney picks up things so quickly and he looks so good doing it. And then he just goes off and wins. And then I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what happened. I really don't. I
Me
honestly
neither.
don't know what happened.
Me neither.
But it's just a really cool talent that you have, and I think it's really cool that you are cultivating it.
Nice.
And you're using it to now teach people. So you've already, along with you doing the work on yourself, you're still at the same time passing it on to the next generation,
Yeah.
which I think is what I think it's a good time that you're doing it. And see, one of my takes that not everybody always agrees with is I think there's a time when people need to start teaching. I don't think like, oh, you've taken a couple of classes, try teaching. I'm like, I really think you should still work on your skill before you start teaching. Now, teaching can help enhance your skill, but I think there has to be skill there in the first place before you start teaching.
Yes.
So that's been my take ever since, like, even when I was in the scene before COVID and
Mhm.
when I left. Like, I just, and there have been some great dancers who've come out of the scene still, and they're still teaching, they're still killing it. Props to everybody.
Yeah.
No hate to anyone. I sometimes see things and I'm like, sometimes you just like tick your head. You're like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, but I think that's just where the generation is going. Sometimes people want to learn from their own peers and not
Yeah.
learn from someone above or someone more
Yeah.
experienced or someone who's been through it, whatever it is.
Yeah. This might get me canceled. Nah, not you don't. People don't have to like. You don't have to charge for every class you teach.
Mm.
Don't have to. Like it's crazy if like it's crazy seeing
Did you
people.
think that when you were first starting?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Hindsight.
Yeah.
I started teaching too early. I for sure
Mm.
started teaching too early. But in the same sense, I knew that at the time,
Yeah.
and I was actively putting in the work to be a better teacher. So like
Mm-hmm.
I was going into like there were classes that I would enjoy taking,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
would or like teachers that I enjoyed, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
would go to them and be like, "Hey, would it be okay if I like came into your class and just sat down and like
Mm-hmm.
just watched you teach and took notes?"
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yes. So like I would literally go into class, sit at the front, sit at the back, sit off the on the side,
Yeah.
and literally just watch how they conducted class
Right.
and then learn from that. And because like not every teacher was perfect, right? So I would try to
Right.
take different tidbits of every class that I would watch and then try to apply that into my own classes. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I started teaching too early, but I was like, every time I taught class, I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
But then I was trying to get better and better each time because like I feel like with teaching, even now, I've been teaching for a while now, but it's like it's still like a trial and error thing
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. It's like not because not every class is going to be the same.
Yeah.
You can have two people in class, you can have 30 people in class.
Yeah.
You can have an all beginner class, you can have an all advanced class, you can have a mixed level class, and it's like trying to teach to everybody so that
Yeah.
everybody gets information
Mm-hmm.
in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it's like how you teach. So it's like some people are visual learners, some people are audible learners. So it's like trying to some people have to see it to understand it. Some people
Mm-hmm.
have to understand it to be able to do it. So it's like trying to teach everybody in the capacity that they can learn it to the best of their ability,
Mm-hmm.
but without sacrificing the integrity of the class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that in itself is something that you like people have to learn how to navigate because it's like
Right.
a lot of people are like, hey, I'm teaching a pop-up class for like $20 for an
Mm-hmm.
hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna like I'm going to Kumbala. I'm gonna teach at for $20 for an hour.
Yeah.
Come to class, and then you go to class, and class sometimes is not good
Right.
because like they're not good teachers. Like they could be amazing.
Mm,
Like the combo could be amazing. The person could be an amazing dancer, but they suck at teaching.
right.
And then it's like there's people who are at a level where it's like it doesn't necessarily matter if the teacher's good. You're gonna get the step or you're gonna get whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people who are not there, so it's like they rely on the teacher to teach them.
Yeah.
So like and they're not getting that information. So it's like
Yeah.
they're not having a good time in class. And then it's like, dang, I just paid $20 to
Mm-hmm.
not feel good.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like a lot of people don't need to teach. Like they don't need
Mm-hmm.
not that they don't need to teach, they don't need to charge people a fee just because you want to see your choreography on people.
Yeah. I
But
get that.
I think there's a real responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for teachers that like they have a responsibility to be, I guess, leaders
Yeah.
in some sort of capacity, you know? Like they have to be leaders and they can't just be like, "Oh, I want to see my choreography on you, and you."
Mm-hmm.
Or whoever wants to show up. Cause like if you want to do that, just rent out space, call up your friends, invite them, teach them the choreo, get a video, get out.
Yep.
Like that's what I've done. Like I've done that
Yep.
before. It's like I don't want to teach this piece in a class because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
ready to teach it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to teach this to like I'm still trying to figure this piece out, but I know
Yeah.
I want to see there are specific people I want to see do this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I ran out of this space. I'm gonna be here for an hour and a half. Come through if you can. Let's get it going.
Yep.
And then after that, I taught the piece
Mm-hmm.
because that was kind of like my practice to teach the piece. And
Mm-hmm.
I was able to like really figure things out. Like
Mm-hmm.
figure out like, oh, this is how this movement feels. This is how I can explain it, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then when I go to class, there's no time to figure it out because
Right.
it's me teaching it.
Right.
That's what my job is.
It's just funny to me that the advice that you gave is obviously a bit contradictory to your experience, but because you had the experience, therefore you know what the actual advice you want to give is.
Yeah.
But it's the exact advice that every older generation gives to the generation underneath them that says, work for free, get the experience, get good, then charge.
Hmm.
But nobody who's younger wants to be told, do something for free, experience, no money,
Right.
until you're good. And so it's so, this happens all the time. My dad told me this when I was looking for internships and back, when I was trying to get my first accounting internship back when I was like a sophomore, and he was like, just apply to everything. Don't worry about money. Like you need experience. Like
Yeah.
don't worry about like having to pay for your, your rent at the apartment. Like we'll handle it. Just like get a good job that has experience. Don't just apply to the ones that were paid. I was like, sir, sir.
Right.
So this is my first opportunity to have a real job. I've never worked before then, because growing up it was always like they were always like just study and get good grades and we'll cover it. So this is my first time applying for a job that wasn't orientation leader.
Hmm.
Um, so I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And so like
Right. It's
every time
like,
you'd
you want
filter
me
for
to do
internships, it was like
what?
paid. But you know, there's certain I was talking to MJG about this earlier about there are certain things because he said the same thing about if you want to be in some sort of role on a film production, whether it's videographer, sound, director, producer, a tech, something like that, right? Maybe you have to start with a tech.
Hmm.
There's a lot of dummy work. So what he called it, basically,
Hmm.
like you do it for free. You go and show up, and you put in the hours to learn what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't charge for any of that stuff. You just spend your time. You charge yourself your time. But that's how you gain experience, and
Right.
then you gain connection and stuff. And it's interesting that we continue this cycle of um, doing what we want to do when we do it, and then looking back on it, I would have done it differently. But then the next generation is like, actually, I don't want to do it the way you're telling me to do it, even
Hmm.
though it's probably what you're saying is a better way.
Right.
Um, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I have
I think
one of the roles.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
it's it's it it's weird because it's like there's always that like you have to work for free. Like no, like I'm not saying like work for free, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
do get the experience.
Yeah.
So like even if you like, hey, I'm gonna do this class, come if you want to. If you want to pay me, cool,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like it's 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 such a weird thing, like people that don't want to work for free but also have no experience, especially like in
Right.
this dance game,
Mm-hmm.
in this dance world. It's like everything is experience based.
Right.
Like if I came in, never taught a class before, and I went into a studio and I was like, yo, I want $75 an hour to teach a class.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna look at me crazy.
Yeah.
But if I go in there and I've been teaching for like X amount, like 9 years, been dancing for like 11 years, have won all these different competitions, all these awards, done these things over these years, and then I'm like, hey, I want to charge $75 an hour for a class. They're gonna be like, yeah, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because your experience is speaking for itself, you
Right.
know? Um, I think it's a really strange thing. But I totally get it because like people are like, yeah, you get the experience. But I also say like, and I've learned this, like that free work that you do, you're basically being used, right? Like
Yeah.
there's that calling it is what it is.
Calling it
Like
what
you're
it is.
being
Yep.
used, but it's like use them as much as they are using you.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. So like I've done jobs for free, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm networking. So now this
Mm-hmm.
free job that I got $0 from, I now have four private set up, or now I'm teaching at three different studios because
Yep.
I've plugged myself to the people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I got $0 initially, but now I'm making
Mm-hmm.
X amount of dollars per hour at each studio.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm teaching these kids at a master class for this much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think that is also very important. It's like, yeah, you can get that experience, get that exposure, but it's
Yeah.
like you have to sell yourself, because that's all it is. Like your name is
Right.
the game, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
everybody's gonna know who you are. It's always in this dance thing. It's always a who knows who.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like every job that I've ever booked has been like, oh, it's never been like me going to audition. It's been like, oh yeah, yeah, Barney's good. Barney's good. Go ahead
Yeah.
and hire him. Every time I get something, hey, we heard about you from so and so. Do you want to come teach these
Mm-hmm.
classes?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we heard about you from so and so. Do you want to come out here and da 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 da? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not because like these people are recommending me just because like we're friends, But it's
Yeah.
like because I have the experience to back me.
Right.
It's like I have that experience of being like, yes, I'm professional. I'm good. I also know how to work. I also know how to do this. I know how to conduct myself. So like, I'm not looking crazy. I'm not making the person who hired me look crazy. I'm not making the person
Mm-hmm.
who recommended me look crazy. So yeah, I think that is really important as well, is like
Yeah.
get the experience, but like that experience is what's gonna get you that money. And that I feel like that's
Mm.
with anything. Like if I go into a job, if I go work at Apple and I don't know nothing about computers or phones, what am I gonna do? You
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So yeah, I think
Interesting.
that's very
Yeah.
important. And I get that like the younger generation doesn't want to do that, but it's like
Yeah.
people have
I
done
get
it,
it.
and it's like
Yeah.
we're like
People have
I
done
know
it and
my
been
mistake.
successful. Yeah. Yeah. People have done it and been successful. People haven't done it and been successful. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like it's just, you look at somebody's history and say, well, you didn't do it and you were successful. And they're like, okay, yeah, but just because I did it and I was successful doesn't mean you'll do it and you're successful.
right,
But if you do this, it's like you could be successful both ways.
right.
Technically, it's such a strange thing.
Yeah.
But I actually loved that conversation we just had. Holy shit. Speaking of experiences, um, one more job of yours that I didn't touch on earlier is being an MC at a lot of the events that we have. And that is one of the roles that I think fits you immaculately. But this is actually a question from my good friend Canvas, who I asked if you have any questions for Barney, let me know as well. And he asked, how has been an MC at Jams been for you? Are there any hardships or challenges with that job that you would like to speak on?
Dude, I hate it so much. I hate it so I hate it so much. Not like I hate it. I hate it because I'm emceeing at the events that I want to be in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
Like I would love to be like it's only the events that I'd want to
Why don't
ode
you?
to Dallas. Ode to
Why
Dallas.
don't
I
you MC
emceed
and
that
I want you
event and
MC
I'm
and
like,
battle?
you all would have lost if I entered. Nah, I'm
High
playing.
key, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, well, Barney, like, sometimes when like you and you don't enter, or like when TC doesn't enter battlegrounds or some shit like
Yeah.
that, I'm like, they got lucky.
Nah, we were talking about Ode. I was like, dude, I'm working, Canvas is working, Valkyrie's working. All y'all, if any of us would have entered, it would have been over for everybody.
Mm,
But like,
mm-hmm,
yeah, no, in all honesty, it's so much fun. It's a really good time. I've been enjoying as much as I do hate it because I do want to be battling. I do really enjoy
mm-hmm.
it. Because it's just I get to just like I don't have to do anything. It's just
Yeah,
like me being me.
yeah,
And I've learned that it's it might sound controversial. It's not hard to
yeah.
it's not hard to like be a good MC and
Mm-hmm,
to run an event on time because at the end
mm,
of the day, it's like I've learned that it's as the MC, it's my job to make sure that we're running on
mm-hmm,
schedule. So like they'll send me a schedule and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check. I got the times, I'm gonna check with you, like whoever's running, like when I was doing Ode, I was checking in with Rishi, like, hey, it's about to be this time. Do you still want to run it? Do you still want to start now or do you want to wait like 5 minutes? He'd be like,
mm-hmm.
okay, give it like 5 to 10. And I was like, okay, bet. I'll check in with you again. And then
Yeah.
checking in like 5, 10 minutes. Hey, are we good to start? He's like, yeah, okay, bet. And then I go, we start it up and get it going. But it's like it's not that hard to run to run an event on time or on
Mm-hmm,
time, I guess, in a timely manner, I
mm-hmm.
would say. Um, Even like with Cam when he did all like his rock your body, ease your mind, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
I would always check in with him like, hey, you said at 5 o'clock we're gonna start up. Do you want to give it a few more minutes? I see people rolling in. Okay, bet. And I just and all of that, just trying to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
It's a really fun time. There's no real hardships, honestly, except for like I said, just wanting to
Yeah.
hearing, especially Canvas is DJing, hearing Canvas play a banger, and then I'm like,
I've yet to watch the Ode footage because I'm waiting for me and Camus to get on call together in Discord and him walk me through every single fucking video and provide me his commentary, which I'm telling him he needs to fucking have a Reacts channel and put that shit on there live on YouTube. That shit would go
I
viral.
promise you, you're gonna see me every song. I'm gonna be like,
Fuck. I wanted to be fuck.
every song. I'm
I
like,
kid you not.
ooh, dang it.
Every single like our generation friend group battle that's been thrown, I've seen the footage and I want to battle in it. As
Yeah,
somebody who does not battle anymore, who sucks at battling, I'm barely a dancer at this point. I'm just there for the vibes and to fuck around. I hear just the songs that are played in the prelims, and I'm
heat.
my like I start like fucking twitching, like I start fucking tweaking like a crackhead. Like I really want to get in this fucking battle, and I can't.
Yeah,
And when we're sessioning, he won't play shit like this because we're just doing
yeah.
whatever songs on SoundCloud. I'm like, where the fuck are these songs in the session, huh?
He's like, I'm saving them. I'm like, shut up.
Makes me mad, bro. God, that's so funny. That's so funny.
I
But
will
no,
say shout out to Canvas though, because
yeah.
he's been really killing it as a DJ. He was I remember because when I held my event, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, God, because it was it was really me and Courtney who like planned everything together and like
Yeah.
really put everything into motion. So like shout out to her because I don't think it would have been as successful if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there. But I was like, yo, we got it. Cause like this, I think it was like I think it was Canvas's like first DJ like act like for real gig. 'Cause I know he
Mm-hmm.
did like the mock battles and stuff
Yeah.
before, but he had never done like an actual battle. So I was like, dog, we gotta get you going
Right. We gotta
like
get the reps in.
right now because you are playing tracks that
Yep.
we only hear when you're around, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody loves dancing to them. So like we got to get you going. So like shout out to him just to like see him grow as a DJ from like like
Yeah.
my first event to like now he's getting booked in Austin,
Yep.
getting booked for like even like non-battle events and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like shout out to
Yeah, he
him.
got booked for a party somewhere one
Yeah, I'm
time,
like, dude,
and I'm
you're
like,
just
what the hell?
I'm like, let's go,
Where
Canvas.
where's that car.co? Where the fuck is that? Where's that website, Canvas? Like,
Bro,
boot it up, Canvas. We gonna get you booked.
for real, because like, yeah,
Um,
shout out to him because like
yeah,
he's been really growing, and like I've always told him, I'm like, yo, this like you don't have any bad song, like you don't play any bad songs, you don't
never heard
even play
one.
any mid songs.
Never heard one.
Like even I remember at Ode, like the prelims, I was like, you're going in right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's prelims.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a crazy night.
Yep. Yep. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
He makes me angry. But that was one of Canvas's questions. I do also want to ask you one of his questions because this is also one of mine.
Mhm.
Having been a part of the Dallas Cowboys dance team, what was one thing that stood out to you about that experience? Once again, Barney is a man of many hats.
Hmm. I was on that team. Like I was officially on that team for like 4 years.
Yeah,
It
the whole
was
season.
it was a lot of fun. It was like that. Like the biggest takeaway was like how much fun that I actually was able to have on that
Mm-hmm.
team. Like it was cool because I think that was my first experience of like dance as like a job, you know,
Yeah.
like in the sense of like I was already teaching and stuff, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like if I needed to miss, hey, I'm not going to be there. Can you get a sub? Or hey, so and so, can you sub this class for me? Thank you.
Yeah.
But like dancing on Cowboys, there were no missed days, no calling out. If you
Yep.
missed rehearsal, you were going to be in big trouble. If you were
Yep.
late for rehearsal, there were consequences. If you were late for anything, there was some consequence. Um, so it was, but even though it was like a job, it was
Yep.
still a lot of fun. And
Mm-hmm.
it really put into perspective like the professional aspect of things. Cause like I had been on
Mm-hmm.
teams before, but it was just like, oh, if you miss, like, dang it, dude, like why'd you miss?
Mm-hmm.
This is like if you miss, like now we gotta go talk to you gotta go talk to the boss, and now we gotta go talk to HR or whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was such a fun experience. It was a lot of work. But as time progressed, it felt like it got easier in the sense of like it's feeling less like a job and more like we're having fun.
Yeah.
Like it was still a lot of hard work, but it's like the more like we spent time with each other on that team, it was like, oh, this is starting to become like we're friends, we're family type stuff. So it's like we're really getting together, just having a good time at these rehearsals and at these games
Mm-hmm.
and during these appearances and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a cool time. It was cool, like 'cause I was a Cowboys fan. I mean, I'm still a Cowboys fan, but like Cowboys fan when I was like younger.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, and I'd been to like maybe a couple games, and then
Mm-hmm.
now for 4 years went to every home game.
Yep.
So that was
That's
crazy.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So like you've made dance essentially your livelihood, your life. Like it's everything that you do basically is
Yeah.
revolves around dance. And so, you know, there's a lot of discourse or people talk like older dancers talk about this a lot where like at some point your body can't keep up
Hmm.
at the same pace, at the same intensity, with the same techniques, whatever it is, right? So I wanted to ask you, as a hypothetical,
Hmm.
if your body never like gave out on you, would you continue dancing till your
Oh,
last breath?
for sure, dude. Like, and it's more like I love teaching. Like that's
Mm,
like my one of the things that's like that brings me a lot of joy is being able to teach.
yeah,
Um, it's like being able to teach and then being able to battle are like my
yeah.
two things that are like that gets me like pumped up and gets me going. Like having a
Mm-hmm.
having a really good like I could be having a terrible day and then I go teach and have a great class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wait bad day bad day
Yeah,
where I could be having a bad day, go battle, do good. Even if I lost, I'm like, yeah, okay, bet. I'm here now,
yeah.
you know? But it's like those like, yeah, I'd dance forever if I could. And even if my body were to give out, like I'm still gonna be teaching. Like I remember I'd hurt my knee a couple months
Mm-hmm.
ago. Like I partially tore my MCL.
Yeah.
And I was out of commission for a couple weeks. And then I went back to teaching. I wasn't like going full out dancing wise, but I was still like teaching. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like just because you can't dance to the fullest potential doesn't mean you can't teach dance,
Mm,
you know? Because I
yeah.
feel like I always say like a lot of dance. I feel like sometimes dance is more mental than it is physical.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Oh, for sure.
because it's like
It's
you really have to be able to understand everything that's going on with your body
mm-hmm.
before you're even able to put it on your body.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I mean, this is like one of the strangest phenomenons with me is and I might have mentioned it with like Trent or somebody in the past, but like I don't sweat frequently.
yeah.
Like I'm not like a aggressive sweater even like when I'm working out or whatever it is, but like give me maybe 5 to 10 minutes of dancing and I'm drenched
Yeah.
because it's just such a different type of physical activity. Like rock climbing doesn't make me sweat that much. Running, yes. Dancing, yes.
Yeah.
Lifting weights, no. Calisthenics, barely.
Right.
So it's like whenever I think it's like when my mind is engaged with my body, it's just fucking like drenched. It's because
Yeah.
it's such a mind game. Today I was feeling a bit under the weather with my throat and my voice and like my head and everything.
Mhm.
And all day I've been having really really bad brain fog today. It's been actually fucking terrible. It's really annoying. But I went to go work out, cleared my head a little bit, came back, ate something. My head was still like feeling like fucking annoying, and I was trying really hard. Don't go on the TV. Don't go on your phone. Don't go on the computer. Just save your brain for the call. So I want it to be like sharp enough for this.
Mhm.
And so I tried to read books, and I couldn't because I read 13 books in 13 days, and now I'm like mentally I'm like slumped right now.
Yeah, dude, what the heck?
Uh, and so the book that I was trying to start, like my brain could not handle it. So I was like on my phone on TikTok for like 30 minutes. It was not good. But I came up here and as I was like setting up the scene, setting up the camera, I was like, fuck it, we're gonna pop on two songs.
Mhm.
I popped on two songs. Per usual. They're Indian. They're Hindi pop.
Yeah.
You know I fucking go off to Indian music. I don't dance to English music anymore. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit unless it's a Canvas song. You guys will see it on my story whenever it comes out later.
Yeah.
But it like just having to think and focus on just movement. It didn't like get me sweating, but it like got my entire body heated,
Mhm.
awake, alive again. Cleared a little bit of the brain fog. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It helped to refocus myself. Um, so it was cool. It was cool. But to your point, it is a very mental game, especially when you're battling. It is a very mental game. To think like you have only 60 seconds or only 90 seconds to do something. A minute and a half is not a lot of time until you're in a round and you're like, I've done everything I can think of. Holy shit. It's still only like 15 seconds left. How has dancing and or teaching kind of shaped your worldview over the years?
Um, I think, yeah, I think with dancing and teaching, it's kind of taught me that like it's not that serious. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it like a lot of things aren't that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because like especially with dance, like it's just dance. Like dance is supposed to be
Yep.
fun. Dance is supposed to be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of times like in class, like I
Mm-hmm.
know like whenever I'm teaching, I like, especially with like kids, I never
Mm-hmm.
yell. Like I never really yell. I never like
Mm-hmm.
super like disciplined, like I'm mad at you or anything. Because
Mm-hmm.
first of all, you're coming to dance class and it's supposed to be a good fun time.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the reason that you don't like you have a negative connotation with dance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's I'm always like it's never that serious
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's just dance. I've also learned like I've learned a lot with dance, like that kind of correlates with dance. Because I've performed a lot, and people always
Mm-hmm.
ask me like if I get nervous, and I'm like, nah. Why would I be
Mm.
nervous if I'm like why would I be nervous when I can be excited instead?
There's this, I need to look into it more before I claim how valid it is, but I heard this claim that the the shocks or nerves that go through your brain when you feel excited and when you feel nervous or anxious, one of those two, are the same.
Yeah, I've literally I've always felt that I've always said like be nervousness is just scared excitement. That's
Mm,
all. Like I've always said that. I'm like,
yeah,
there's no reason for me to be nervous when I can just be excited about this experience instead.
yeah.
And then I've also learned that like why would I be nervous if I'm prepared?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Why would I be like if I'm about to go on stage and I'm about to perform some choreography
Mm-hmm.
and I know and I've practiced the choreography and I know the choreography, what
Mm-hmm.
reason do I have to be nervous?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
literally no reason for me if I put in the work that I need to, I'm gonna go on
Mm-hmm.
stage and do the exact same thing I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I haven't been putting in the work, I have
Mm-hmm.
room to be nervous because I might mess up
Mm.
because I'm not prepared.
Right.
You know? I learned this from this saying from Castro, actually. He's one of my teachers, Castro. He says, preparation prevents poor performance.
Right.
And I was like, mm,
Bar.
mm, heard, and alliteration. Crazy.
Yep.
But I was like, but I'm like, yes, that makes so much sense. Like,
Right.
if I'm there's no reason for me to be nervous if
Mm-hmm.
I am prepared.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like I feel like I've really learned that through like because of dance. You know,
Yeah.
I sometimes used to get nervous about certain things. But then I'm like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can only control the things that I can control. I learned that
That's
throughout
true.
dance too. Like if I'm battling, I can only do what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
And
That
that
that that preparation thing is so real.
yeah.
I've never felt prepared with dance ever in my life.
Hmm.
But, you know, put me on to public speaking, guy like me
Hmm.
who thought he was the shyest, most nervous, most introverted kid around, you give me a school presentation, I'm memorizing my entire script and going up there with the confidence of fucking Alex Hormozy. Like I'm
Yeah.
that guy because I'm so prepared. But every single time I have to even get into a session, I'm like, uh, like
Yeah.
I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. It's
Right.
so interesting. The I guess it's like the level of preparation you think you need versus you have
Yeah.
versus
That's the thing too.
that kind of stuff too.
And
Like,
then one more thing that I've learned is confidence. Like I've
yeah,
learned a lot about confidence.
yeah,
It's not something that I learned that it's not something that like you just have. It's
mm-hmm,
something that you have to work for.
mm-hmm,
Like you have to, if you want to be confident,
mm-hmm,
put yourself in situations where you are forced to be confident.
yep,
Like I learned that so like so much about like through dance, you know. So
mm-hmm,
like, I always tell people and I always do like, hey, if you want to be confident in dance class, whenever groups go, go to the front.
Yep.
Be front center. Be right in front of that camera. Be right in front of that person. Even better,
Mm-hmm.
go be front and be on the sides where all the people are literally right next to you watching. Be
Mm-hmm. Look
confident.
at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, if you like, hey, when they call out groups, they give me three people. Go out there.
Mm-hmm.
Be the first person out there. Be front and center of
Mm-hmm.
that group. Give me one person. I don't care if you won already. Try to go out again. Let them tell you no, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I learned that you have to confident is something that you have to do instead of like you just are, you know? And then
Mm.
even faking confidence.
Yep.
There like that's what I've definitely learned.
Yep.
You have to fake confidence until you are confident sometimes.
Yep.
It's like, dang, there'll be times in class where they're like, give me some, let me get somebody to do it. And I'll go out there out of instinct and impulse of like, yep, that's me, because that's just how I've trained. I'm like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And on my way there, I'm like, I ain't got it, dude. I do
Yeah.
have this beast. And then the music come on, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Okay. Yep.
Whatever happens, happens, you know? Even in a
Yep.
battle, I'm like, dude, I'm about to lose. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Mm-hmm.
outside, you'll never know that. But inside, I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah. Like I feel like the one battle that I've ever had that has been a good battle. That's only ever been one in my life. It was the exact thing you were talking about with one of your memorable ones where you were just like you had that era, that demeanor of overconfidence and
Yeah.
like the other person is just so much worse than you and you kind of like are in that character.
Yeah.
I had to be in that character to like excel.
Hmm.
Otherwise, like just being Arish did not really work. I had to like go into a character
Right.
that exuded overconfidence. Um, Interesting. Confidence is something that you do, not something that you are.
Yeah.
Can't wait to clip that. Let's fucking go. We love
We
quotables.
love quotes. We love a little clip.
Preparation prevents poor performance. I was writing that down earlier because I want to put that on the thumbnail later. That
Yeah.
was that was good. That was good. Shout out Castro.
Yeah. Shout out
Thank you for
Castro
that.
because he said that
Let
to
me
me
give
and
it
I
up.
was like,
Write that down. Write that down. Write that
I
down.
literally.
So then we are about halfway through the year now.
Mhm.
By the time this goes up, are there any like new life lessons that you've learned that you wouldn't mind sharing?
New life lessons. I mean, any anything that anything that I've learned is like the biggest thing that I've learned is like you just got to do it. You know, like
Mm,
just do it, do it, and do it scared.
yep.
And I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a new life lesson, but I feel like that's something that I've been like kind of sharing a lot. And
Mm,
I've been experiencing myself. I know we talked about like me stepping into like this new position of like hip hop director or whatever,
right.
hip hop program director. And I'm like nervous about it
Mm-hmm.
because it's out of my comfort zone, but I'm like I gotta do it
Yep.
because I want to, you know.
Yep.
I'm doing it scared and I'm gonna make sure I figure it out.
Yep.
But I think that's like the biggest thing. If you're like do it, if you're gonna be scared, do it scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's no there's nothing holding you back except for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think that's where a lot of people because like so many people will come up to me like, oh, I want to get into battles, but I'm not prepared. I'm like, okay, and you'll never be prepared for your first battle
Fair.
because you can train as much as you want. You can be the best training, whatever. You can have a fire cipher line. As soon as you step into a battle prelim or battle round, everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
And you will never be prepared for that moment until you feel that moment.
Mm-hmm. You can be as prepared as you want, and then you will still have D Chaw's crew do a commando on you in your first battle and just fuck you all over. And you
All the way
invited your
up.
and you invited your high school friends who came
Yep.
to hang out with you in your first ever battle to come watch you, and you got wiped. That is exactly what
Yeah.
happened. And I told him I was like, I wouldn't mind if you left right now, because I was like, well,
Yeah, we can just go home, bro. We can just go.
yeah,
We can just act like this never happened.
yeah. Honestly, like I'm done with dancing. I quit.
But yeah, I
That's
think like
crazy.
do it. Just you just got to do it. And if you're gonna be scared, do it scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you're the only thing that's going to be holding you back at the end of the day.
Right. Right. Exactly. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that almost might have been the answer to a question that I'm going to ask you at the end, but we'll see if that one is different. What does having a successful life mean to you?
Woo! What a question, dude. I think I just saw something of like, what is success? And like
Mm-hmm.
money. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
actually.
was like, yes,
um.
money, dude. Nah. I'm always about a bag, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like having a successful life or being just success in general is just like being happy,
Mm-hmm.
just being happy with yourself.
Yeah.
You may not have like the best circumstance or be in the best place, but it's like, are you happy with who you are and what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because like not every day is gonna be a good day, but like, do you know that, tomorrow's gonna be you're gonna make tomorrow a better day?
Yep.
People always like do that 1% better every day sort of
Yep.
situation. And it's like, yeah, you always want to like strive for that.
Yep.
Not always gonna happen, but like you want to strive for that as much as possible. But I
Mm-hmm.
think just being your happiness and like even like your contentness, like I'm content with where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know like people are like, oh, you don't want to be in your comfort zone. I'm like, yes, I do.
I would love
Actually,
that
I
actually.
love being comfortable.
Actually, my comfort zone is where I thrive.
Dude, please put me in my comfort zone. Don't
Mm-hmm.
like I will thrive outside my comfort zone all day. I love a challenge. I love a push. But you put me in my comfort zone, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I live in my comfort zone. So it's
Yep.
like being content with like I'm good with where I am. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a totally fine thing because like people always want to push like, oh, you gotta have more, you gotta want more, da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, you can want that. I'm cool right where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm cool with wanting more. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
always like you always want to know what you want and always,
Mm-hmm.
be cool with what you have because like you never know where it's gonna go or what's gonna happen. Because like well like I said earlier, I hurt my knee. I did
Yeah.
it snowboarding. I partially tore my MCL, dude. I thought it was over. Like I like heard it pop, felt it pop,
Yep.
saw it happen, and I was like, I have to get a job.
Mm.
Dude, I thought I thought it was over, man. I thought it
That
was
is
over.
the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. One of the most insane things I've ever heard in my fucking life, Barney.
I thought it was over, man. I thought me and Dance just were done, brutally ripped apart. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was over, bro.
Yeah.
But
Well, that happened to me with rock climbing actually,
yeah,
because I had a minor tear in my wrist here,
dang.
back in 2022,
Hmm.
and it was a combination of a lot of things. And to be honest, it was a combination of ego rock climbing, which, regardless of if I was ego climbing, I was getting that shit. My
Yeah,
back has never looked better.
yeah,
When I go back and look at those videos, I'm like, that's a back.
you're right.
Those lats are real.
Or Latin.
Those shoulder blades are literally blade running right now.
Yeah,
But I tore my wrist, and once that happened, I legit thought everything that I want to do in life I can never do again.
right.
Because I can't lift, I can't do calisthenics, I can't be on my wrist, I can barely use a keyboard and mouse.
Hmm.
What about my editing? What about my videography? What about um my climbing? What about my physical activity? What about dancing? I can't do floor work now.
Yeah,
Like even like can I even wave with like my wrist being fucked up like this? Like can I even like disjoint it and stuff? Like everything I thought like was gone. But well, I also made the mistake of stopping a lot of things because I was like, you know what, you just need to give it rest. So I
hmm
didn't do anything. But what I should have done is just give it rest and do things like with everything else.
right,
Which I'm learning now. This shoulder is fucked up. I need to go show it to somebody. Haven't yet. But I'm making the conscious decision of just because your shoulder is messed up, and yes, you can't do proper chest and back days. Yes, you can't use your arm properly. You can't lift heavy weight. You can still work out in a way that is not going to aggravate it. You can still move. You can still dance. You can still
right.
do things that aren't going to aggravate it. while it's resting and recovering. I already have a job, so I can't say I have to go get a job now that my shoulder's fucked up.
Yeah.
But same thing happened to me, and
Yeah,
dude,
it
injuries
would
are
like your whole
scary.
life would have been just flipped upside down.
Yo, if my wrist was actually fucking torn, and micro tears can heal over time.
Yeah,
Like heavier tears cannot heal over time.
right.
Like that. And so I was freaked out. I was like, there's no way. My wrist, the literal thing I need for my life, my wrist. What like what you know what do you do about that?
Yeah.
So it was very scary. The same thing as an MCL. That's a very scary injury
Yeah, dude, I was like, I don't.
as a dancer or
So
a
I was like,
movement
it's over.
practitionist.
It's torn. I need surgery. I'm
Mm-hmm.
screwed. It's gonna take so long to recover. I'm not gonna be able to dance. I'm not gonna be able to teach. I like that's all I do. So like, how am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna get money? I definitely don't have enough money to save, like saved up to be okay, especially like if I have
Mm-hmm.
to pay for all this surgery and stuff. Like I
Right.
was like, dude, I'm screwed.
Right.
It ended up being okay, and I just needed to like rest it and then like kind of rehab it. But like
Mm-hmm.
I remember in that moment, I was like, dude, like I'm done.
Yep.
And that like sucked to think about.
Yep.
Even like snowboard, I was like, dude, I can't even snowboard anymore. What the like
Mm-hmm.
I just got a snowboard.
Wait a minute. One of I thought one of Canvas's things was what sparked the love of snowboarding.
Dude, we can get it
Wait a
that,
minute.
right?
Get into it. Get into it. Wait a minute. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Okay, dude. Okay, so I as a kid, I played PlayStation 2 SSX3.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say it's the greatest snowboarding game because SSX Tricky is out there, but
Mm-hmm.
SSX3 is a very core memory in my brain. I literally have it here. It's a core memory in my brain, and I've always loved it. It was so much fun. I've also always loved the cold, and I love the snow.
Mm.
Just super counterintuitive living in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Because it like as a kid it snowed
Yep.
a good amount, but then now there's like
Nothing.
none. So like I've always loved snow and I've always wanted to go snowboarding. Um, and like never did until like 3 years ago now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I met Courtney. She has a friend who like snowboards every year for her
Mm-hmm.
birthday. She got invited on the trip, which means I
Mm-hmm.
got invited on the trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally got to do it. And I was
Yep.
like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yep.
So, and then just like kept going. Like we've been like every year now, like once or like
Yep.
2 or 3 times a year now. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. I love that. I hope you can
yeah,
continue that too.
yeah, me too. Because
That's dope.
we got the boards and everything. We got all the gear we need now.
Oh,
We got
yes,
all of
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. So that's always that's been cool. But yeah,
What happened to the gaming reviews,
huh?
Aaron?
I stopped playing. I stopped playing games a lot. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie. I do have a game I need to review. I do need to put it out. It's like long overdue, but
it
Assassin's
is.
Creed Shadows.
Oh man.
That one needs a real review because I played that one. It's
Damn.
okay.
Damn.
It's
We're not. It's
fine.
okay. We're not gonna leak the review here.
Yeah,
Just go follow
I'll do it.
Barney. He'll talk
I'll
about it
do it
eventually.
someday. I'll do
You
it.
know what you need to fucking play is Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Word.
Like if I could if you gave every friend one wish that was like I will play whatever one game you tell me to play, I am telling you Clear Obscure Expedition 33.
Word.
So
I don't
then
even think I've
when
heard of
that
that. So
oh, it is one of the games of the decade up there with like when Elden Ring came out and shit like that.
word.
Have you played Elden Ring?
I have not.
You're not a
I'm not
PC
a
gamer, right?
Souls fan. Like
Oh, you're not,
I'm not a Souls fan. I will say I am I am a fan of enjoying games.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
I will
That's fair. Because when Elden Ring came out, the amount of that I used to do on
yeah,
my desk, I legit thought I was gonna break shit. Like
yeah,
I do get it when you see creators breaking shit when they're playing games. Because they might actually be into that shit, and their
Yeah.
jerk reaction when you die is to fucking like
Yeah.
crush something. Because I do that. And I yell a lot too. That's the only game that's made me yell and slam my fists on my desk, wanting to break something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
It's rewarding.
it's worth it.
It's rewarding.
It's so rewarding when you get it though.
I believe
But like
it.
that, it's like I'm not a naturally good gamer. I don't have naturally good talents in general, probably anything at this point in my life. And so when it comes to games like Elden Ring, where it's like you have to perfect dodge and you have to time your attacks right, and
Yeah.
you got to do all these things right, like I have to grind the game for a couple of hours to get back into it to
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, cool, this boss, I'm downloaded, right? So whenever I play the game and I get off it and I come back on, like sometimes Canvas is like, do you want to like boot up Elden Ring? I'm like, brother, how long do you think it takes me to get good again?
Right.
It'll take me a week to get good at this game again,
Like,
and then by that time we're already finishing the game
Yeah.
and like putting it away. Like I can't do this right now.
get it. I get it.
That's what gaming is for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you like other things besides like, or like, do you have time for other hobbies besides like dancing, teaching, etc.? Or is that kind of just like
Not, I mean,
like what you
dancing,
do right now?
teaching, and then just video games, dude.
Yep.
That's life right now.
Yep.
Life. So I feel like it's weird because like I know like for a lot of people, dance is like the escape or whatever. For me, I won't say like it's a job, so it's like, but like it is my job.
Right.
So that's cool. Even when like I go in like go to sessions and stuff, it's like I'm still it's weird because I feel like I'm still working. It's like I'm working on something, at a
Yeah.
session. I'm working on something, working on getting better at XYZ.
Right.
But then it's like when I come home and I get to like play a little game, I'm chilling, dude. I'm like, that's like my little safety bubble of like, I'm in here. Even if it makes me mad, I'm supposed to be mad because that's my, but yeah, that's me. And then whenever it's snowboard season and I got some money trying to go out there, because that's the sucky thing. I wish I could snowboard more, dude. I
Yeah.
wish we lived close to a mountain.
Yeah.
But
Would you ever move, or do you think you're just too like settled down in Dallas with your like network and stuff to actually
Yeah, I
move?
mean, moving, I'm not opposed to moving, but it's also like in the sense of like, am I supposed to move? I don't think I'd ever move just to move. I think there's got to be like a reason. Even if the reason is like I hate it here,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can't live here anymore. But like, because I know a lot of people, I mean, still ask me like, "Oh, you're gonna move out to LA?" And I'm like, "No, man, it's expensive out
It's
there, dude."
expensive and there's no snow there.
Right? And I'm like, "Bro, everybody's in LA."
That's so true.
And I mean, I know people in LA, but I don't know people in LA like I know people here. And I mean, that's with everywhere. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's something to think about as like a dance teacher and a dancer. It's like I've created a gigantic network here. And if I go anywhere else, I'm starting from essentially zero,
Right.
which is fine. Like I still have all like the experience and the accolades or whatever, but it's like nobody knows who I am. But nobody is able to like just take me at like, hey, I'm Barney. I da 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 da. Like they're gonna have to like ask for a
Yeah.
resume, see my work, da 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 da. So
And you got to go like rub elbows with people again. You got to go out and be social, and you got to
yeah,
go do all this shit. And by then you're already in your 30s, and you're like,
right,
man, I'm in my fucking 30s, bro. I'm tired as fuck.
yeah, dude. So it's
And
just
then
like,
what?
but it's like like I said, I'm not opposed to moving, but it's like if I'm supposed to move, I'll go for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm supposed to go, I'm out of here. If it's better for me to be somewhere else, see. But
Nice. This has been a really good chat. This has been a long time coming. I haven't chatted with you since before I moved.
yeah,
Or like
yeah.
right before I moved, you came over and you and the guys came over, and that was a good
Yeah.
chat time. which I really appreciated. And so this was really good. I'd love to catch up with you. Before I let you go, though, I ask everybody this who comes on the podcast: what is one advice that you'd like to give to somebody listening? That's an intentionally vague question.
I'm giving my life motto.
Okay.
My life motto. Okay. Don't suck.
It's interesting because my life motto is just be better. So those are just two sides of the same coin. Yep. Don't suck.
I literally got it written down on my phone. Life goal: don't suck.
That's good.
Because whatever you do, it can be bad. Like you can be bad, but you can't suck. You know.
That's true. It can as long as you don't suck.
It can be terrible, but don't suck. You know. That's like there's levels.
There is levels to this, and listen, the last level is suck.
You could be the worst at whatever you're doing, but just don't suck at it.
Yep.
So there's levels.
I don't know what that means.
There's levels.
There is levels to it. But you're literally saying you could be the literal worst at whatever you're doing of all how many billion people there are on this planet. But as long as you don't suck, just don't suck. And it's like, man. well, I'm the literal worst out of 8 billion people. I guess I don't suck though.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I always think of like putting forth effort.
Right.
Is where you don't like, that's a part of like not sucking. Because it's like,
there are people, as long as you put effort.
There are people who are great at things and they can still suck. Because it's like, dude, you ain't trying. You can tell. But then there's people who are bad at things, but they're giving it their all. And it's like, you can't. There's no way somebody can say you suck because you're really trying. It may still be bad, but that's a part of getting good. So
nice.
Don't
love
suck.
That.
Don't suck.
Don't suck.
Don't suck.
You heard it here first, folks. Don't suck.
Whatever you do, just don't suck.
Awesome. Barney, where can people find you?
They can find me at home in bed. Don't come in there though, because I'm sleeping now.
That's creepy. How did you get in here? How do you know my code?
You can find me on Instagram at Alexander_Barnes. That's BARNES. That's it. That's all I really use. That's just Instagram.
All you need. That's all you need. Awesome. Once again, bro, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite, man. Long time coming. Sorry I missed all your messages.
The way I told Camus, I was like, Barney won't respond to me, and I don't want to be an ass and keep asking him. He might just be busy, and that's completely fine because all of our friends get busy, and it's okay. Oh. But my overthinking ass is like, does he actually not want to be on the podcast anymore? Like, I had Andy on, I had Cam on. I thought having Barney would complete the trifecta, and then I was like, well, I don't want to overthink this. If it happens, it happens. It's fine. And then you messaged me like, oh, bro, I just missed all these. I'm like, dude, God fucking damn it, Arish.
I was scrolling the message, I tapped it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It'd be like, well, that's fine. Like I instinctively message people who I want to talk to. Yeah. And then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I've at least messaged a large array of people to where like a couple of them say yes, a couple of them don't respond yet.
Right.
But I'm just glad we got to do this. I'm just glad we got to do this. One of my goals is when I do hopefully move back to Dallas to have all of this in person.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yes, dude.
That's the goal. Have 2 mics, a setup, everything.
Yes, please.
And that'll be amazing.
Message me 3 times and I'll be there. No, I'm just playing.
I'm fucking calling you at that point. I'm actually coming to your class.
Oh,
and I'm giving you a contract. Like, please sign this and be here at this time at this place.
That's funny.
That's funny. Awesome, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Of course.